This is complicated?
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated. There's a specific way that we need to, can you let go? Okay, thank you. You're stretching it out now. It's not a scoop neck. It's actually a V-neck. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
All right, well,
okay?
I'm sorry for trying to help you out.
Yeah, well, you weren't helping me out. You weren't helping me out. You're actually stretching out.
Oh,
You're
boy, look what you
damaging
did. Boy,
merchandise.
you really got it down.
Yeah, I did get it down.
Oh, I never
okay?
could have done that.
Okay,
that's so hard to
you know
do.
What? Actually, I'm going to ask you to leave. I don't need to be insulted in my own store. I'm going to ask you to leave, okay? Thanks
All right,
a lot.
I'll just take the jacket.
No,
and
you know
leave.
what? Actually, I don't think you're going to take the jacket, okay? Have a nice day.
Okay, we're here, season 3, episode 8, Krazee-Eyez Killa. And who do we have? I'm Susie Essman. You are who? Who are you?
Jeff Garlin, one of America's top teens.
And who do we have with us?
This is Chris Williams.
Chris Williams, Krazee-Eyez himself,
Yes,
indeed.
is a guest with us in the studio. And we're thrilled to have you. I would say this is just in anecdotally, I would say when people tell me this is people's one of their favorite episodes.
It's a top 5.
It's a top 5 episode.
Easy. Could be number 1, could be number 5.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good ones, though.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of good ones. But people always mention Krazee-Eyez. And one of our top guest stars ever would be Chris Williams, I would say.
By the way, that I would say easily top 3, if not number 1. Now, I want to tell an anecdote.
Yeah, not antidote.
Well, no, antidote.
Might be both.
But by the way, people could be dour saying, I need a new story, some story, and they're getting it now, so it could be the antidote to their depression. Anyhow, so when we were casting the part, we brought in all rappers. Famous rappers.
Oh, really?
All
Ghostface Killer. Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
I think Mike Epps came in for it.
Yeah. Well, Mike Epps was the only actor besides you. And by the way, the only person who impressed us besides you. And then, wait, what's the dude's name from New Orleans?
Master P.
Master P came in. All right, so all these rappers came in, all right? So Chris comes in. He comes in full character, the guy, Krazee-Eyez. He walks in as Krazee-Eyez. And
because if I walked in like this, there's no way.
No, you're preppy looking.
By the way,
I left my house that way. I left my house literally looking
like that. Okay, great. Showing us a picture. Show it to the camera.
Yeah.
I had brown because I have blue eyes. I put brown contacts in, and had these teeth from Hype, the show I did with Marla, and I had fangs, and I had to leave my house that way just to get a visceral reaction from people.
By the way,
otherwise you're not going to buy me. I'm a rapper.
So I obviously knew because you got in the room because of Marla.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's explain. Marla is your
my ex-wife,
who was a casting director,
but she wasn't officially. She had cast the pilot, but back then,
right? But she had cast Chris in something prior.
Oh no, she had done a show with Chris, yes. But, we'd be stuck, or I'd say, do you have... I'd go through the list and say, these are my ideas, what are your ideas, and do you like my ideas? We did this for every episode.
Yeah.
And so, I've mentioned all these Chicago people.
Right.
And every one of them was through that Marla Jeff festival. And then Chris came in because of Marla, because I didn't really know you.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I think I met you at that point, but I don't think I knew you. And so he comes in as the full character. All right, he leaves. By far the best audition. See, Mike Epps came in as himself. So that didn't do him any favors because Mike Epps is a funny motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
Okay? So Chris comes in like this. He leaves. Larry says, is he popular? People like his music?
Oh, he thought you were a rapper.
No,
okay, there you go.
And then I said, Larry, you think he's cool? He was great. He was great. A rapper being that great. I go, Larry, he's an actor.
Yeah.
Oh! And then he was like so happy.
I had a tattoo that said, I call myself the Wolf Man. The dumb rapper names.
Yeah.
So WOLFF, and I had a tattoo that said Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the, weird things that a rapper would.
Right, you just made that up.
Exactly.
By the way, you came up with the name Krazee-Eyez Killa, right?
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because, they said, well, what's the name of the character after I got it?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like wearing contacts because I don't wear contacts.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, but I can't be blue eyes. Like, so
Why
let me just
can't you be blue eyes?
I'm not hard enough.
Well, by the way,
has to be
his eyes were crazy in the episode.
Yeah,
you see that? One eye.
Right. So I said, I at least have to wear one. So let me just take one out, and then I'll call myself like Krazee-Eyez, and then I'll just put a Killa on the end with all Ks.
Yeah.
So that's
KKK.
exactly how, because I didn't want to wear the contact.
Yeah, but it looked great because when you take off your glasses, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with his eyes? And by the way, little sidebar, I'm at the Clippers game and I usually walk out for the halftime show. And on the board, they say, Glasses Malone. And there's a picture of him wearing glasses. And I'm not kidding. He came out without glasses. And I turned around to all the glasses people, he's not wearing glasses. And they all go, we're thinking the same thing. That's just wrong. Because everybody was like, where are the glasses? Went without them.
Wow.
All right, there's little sidebars. Actually, that's a bit in my stand-up, but not that short and not that stupid.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
So let's start. We're going to start the episode.
Yes,
so
indeed.
here we are with Chris, and we just found out how he got the part. And we start out at a party at Krazee-Eyez house. Mostly black folk, but Larry and Cheryl are there.
But also, I saw a white couple eating. I'm just saying, that was it.
And Wanda is showing off her ring to Cheryl, her engagement ring. So clearly, and then Krazee-Eyez comes over and he's got a matching.
The guy who played her father, I do not remember his name. He's a character actor for many years.
Yeah.
And he had one line: "If he keeps on buying stuff like this for my whatever it is."
Right.
You got
I
it.
have that
Right.
down.
And by the
Wanda's
way,
parents don't mind their daughter marrying a rap star if he keeps on buying stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he did it. He's an actor. He's not an improviser.
Right.
So every take he did that line, and I found that terribly amusing. I didn't mock him, but in Video Village, I just would laugh every time because he did it verbatim the same way.
Right.
Because he's an actor.
Right.
Okay.
So Wanda's parents are there. They don't mind. And then we cut to Larry stomping on bubble wrap.
Excuse me for 1 second. Larry. What are you doing?
Stepping on some packing bubbles.
I know, but why are you doing that?
Because it makes a fun kind of popping noise. It's fun.
Which, by the way, may be the best opening that we've ever had on the show.
I mean, he's clearly not involved in the party. He's clearly in his own head, somewhere
Very childlike.
very childlike,
Yeah.
immature, enjoying
Can I
the
just say
sound of
something?
the crackling
Do you
bubble.
not like standing on bubble wrap? I love it. Always since
it's
I was a
nothing
kid.
that I've ever
As a
done.
matter of fact, they used to sell a product for kids that was essentially bubble wrap, real little bubbles, and kids would go on it and snap them.
But
they were.
for
It was
kids.
over for so it seemed like you rented a ride. You bought a ticket to a ride that was over, and they had 3 sheets in like a tube, and then you popped them, and it was over. You had to buy more. All
I
right.
don't remember that, but that's fine
Okay.
for kids, and it's fine for Larry. But in the middle of a party, it's tone
I would have
deaf.
done it and not thought twice
It's
about
tone deaf. And Cheryl feels the same way because she comes over, what are you doing? And Larry, it's making a fun popping noise. And she's, why aren't you mingling?
By the
And
way,
then he says
when he came up from doing the thing, when she talked to him, he couldn't keep a straight face. He laughed every time. Because Larry loves laughing at other people's performances and what he wrote being executed.
Right.
And if it's as absurd, like him doing the bubble wrap, he comes out of that. He cannot function.
Right.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So Larry says he's got to leave. He's got to go to Jeff's house to pick up a script. And then we get the information that Jeff and Susie bought a new house, have just moved in. It's right in the neighborhood. She asked, what about the dog? You're taking your allergy medications, so the dog is okay. And then Krazee-Eyez.
Wait. She says to him, 10 more minutes. Can you just do 10 minutes? And when she walks away, the look on his face is the look I would have on my face of like, this is going to be the longest 10 minutes of my life.
He's not enjoying himself.
No.
But then Krazee-Eyez comes over.
But
to
you're
talk
at the
to him.
house. It's your house tour.
Yeah.
I still say to this day, I'm turned off.
All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Krazee-Eyez comes over, and Krazee-Eyez has some lyrics. You're asking Larry if he could help you out.
Because he's a writer, and you want any thoughts he has.
Right.
Now, what? Now, in those lyrics,
He prepared. He wrote them.
well,
Yes.
I'm asking. Let
Yes.
him.
So- so I wrote-
I'm just saying he wrote them.
I'm asking him. What? Tell me about writing those lyrics.
Coming into the thing, I knew I had to have something that was prepared, that not off the dome, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just being Chris and playing Krazee-Eyez, trying to give Larry a visceral reaction to, I didn't even let him know that he knew I was an actor, but I was trying to still keep that tension between not knowing that I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
So I had to write something that was kind of outlandish. But I think the reason why I got the part is because it's not, obviously Curb is about improv and this and the other, but you have to know what the show's about, the sensibility of the show.
Yeah.
And so many people would come in not knowing that. And one famous actor, and in all our seasons, I knew never watched the show, but he was famous and we needed him, and he had never watched the show, and his performance was so tone deaf to what we do that we had to, explain, and it was very frustrating.
So feeding into the show, what the show was about the house tour.
Right.
So I think I needed to come up with something that's going to fit into the narrative of the show.
Good, smart.
And make it like I'm coming to get you, like give him something to work with.
Right.
Of like, if you betray me, because I know there's going to be a betrayal.
But also,
in the end.
that's the rule of improv.
Right.
The real improv is, I take care of you, you take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I make you rise up, you make me rise up. That's proper.
Yes.
And that's what happened in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Snap off your neck with the crackle and pop. And Larry, I love Larry. He has one tiny comment he had to change the motherfucker to bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one little.
But your reaction is perfect. Yeah.
Right. And he had no idea that I was even coming out with the paper. So so for the first time, when I read it, he was like,
so it was a true improv moment that he didn't know what you were going to say. And so he responded.
That's one of the ones where we yell cut and then Larry laughs afterwards.
Yeah. So, and then you say to him, I'm not allowed to say it.
Why?
Oh, are you? I said it because
I'm not allowed. I'm a white person.
Are you my N-word? Are you?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about have to eat the
Now, let me
pussy.
ask you a question, Chris. Do you think this is in 2003? Do you think we could do this episode now?
Oh, no.
No. See,
No.
I don't
the
think
way,
so
the
either.
thing
And it's a different thing. Well,
I didn't think a lot of times you look back on stuff like that and it's tone deaf. You're the one opening the door to him, saying what it is, which is appropriate. But I don't think there's any. I mean, I could be
I'm not
ignorant.
asking what you think. I'm asking what the world thinks.
No. But by the way, the world doesn't have a sense of humor.
in the audition, that's when I did it. In the audition, I think that's what sealed the audition for me. Is because to me, as the character rapper, that's nothing to me. To say, you my nigga, that's a form of endearment.
Exactly.
And that was the funny part about it is like Larry's always on, he's always in control. But if you can knock him off, and even Larry doesn't know how to react to it.
Well, his reaction was, yeah, I'll take it.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I am. Because he's nervous. He doesn't know what to say.
So that was not in the outline. That was you adding that. Okay.
Well, by the way, that was the beauty of Chris, except for coming up with the lyrics. All that shit was improvised. I mean, we.
Although I would imagine You Like Eating Pussy was in the outline.
That was in the outline.
Yes, because that's a story point.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a story point. If it's going to come back later, then it's there.
And I love.
And also, I was worried about being too jokey, even in the audition,
right?
Because the Asian pussy, I was like, oh, let me do something I can eat 30 minutes afterwards. I'll still be hungry.
Yeah.
And that was too much of a joke.
That's too jokey.
No,
was
that is a
play
joke.
Against.
We don't
play
do
against
shit
that.
like that on the show. There's nothing you recognize as a written joke,
right?
And also, we laugh freely, as opposed to most comedies, someone makes a quip and no one reacts,
right?
Which is so false.
So Chris asked, "Do you like eating pussy?" And Larry says, "I like it, but he's too lazy and it hurts his neck."
Hurts his neck is the funniest shit.
And then Krazee-Eyez says, instead of that joke, you had a great line, which is you have to have all different flavors.
Yeah.
Best is Asian pussy because you have to have all different flavors.
But that's what a person would say, not a person that I hang out with. But Krazee-Eyez Killa, it made sense for you to say that.
Right. And then there's a whole discussion about, is Wanda going to find out?
Yes. And that's when I have to give him the him hitting me, like, playful hitting me.
Yeah.
At one point he says, "Don't hit me," which gives him am I your friend or am I not your friend, or am I, what is the status of our relationship?
Yes.
And that's what I kept trying to push against. Like, I like you, but I might kill you. But I like you, but I might kill you.
But you still he was still in fear of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing about Wanda going to find out, Wanda's not going to find out, and that's where you kind of put the fear
right
into him. And
because I said, because you're my friend, right? And if you and he's like, yeah, because I said, you're my nigga.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I am. So there's a bonding there, but he's not sure if there's a bonding.
He's not sure. He doesn't know what it means.
Keeping him off balance is
Exactly.
what my goal was.
And by the way,
you
it
did.
worked. That's the
You
tone
did.
of the episode. Yeah.
And then we cut to Larry coming to our new house, and he rings a bell, comes in, you give him a script, and then I come down.
So happy.
So happy. Look at our new, is this something?
Yeah. By
I
the
mean,
way,
come on, I'll give you a tour.
That was a switch scene. What I mean by that is
Switched on a dime.
Yes. No, but a lot of times you build.
Yeah.
And then that's a switch scene where it's literally a light switch.
Right. Literally
0
light switch.
to 100.
And I asked Larry, Susie asked Larry,
So come on, I'll give you the tour.
You know what? That's okay. I get it.
What do you mean?
Well, it's bedrooms, bathrooms. I get it. I see it. It's beautiful. It's great.
You don't want a tour.
You don't need to walk me
All right,
around
get the
house.
fuck out of my house, okay, Larry? Just get the fuck out right now.
I didn't even ask him. I just said, come on, I'll give you a tour. That's all right. And then I immediately get the fuck out of the house. I'm turned off.
I'm turned off. I say
Leave.
that all the time.
I am turned off. Larry says that all the time too to me.
But also it's like a house tour is what you're both building to. Larry says house tour. Now here's the thing that I want to tell you: respect the wood, and are you my blankety blank, and take the house tour. Are all things people come up to me and say all the time.
Yeah, I
the
know.
house tour, you walk into somebody's house
All the time.
or they come
Me
to your
especially,
house.
they do that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I imagine you can't have anybody over without them.
Well,
even
by the way, I was at somebody's house recently, maybe a year or so ago, and he said to me, you want to see the new? And I was like, no. He goes, you like your show. You're exactly like your show. I didn't want to see it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. By the way, the joke is
Freak of fucking nature.
You and I may be more like on-screen Larry than on-screen Larry is
It's like-
off-screen.
it's true.
Yeah. He's much more polite off-screen. We are not. Not that you're surprised by Susie, but I am not. And when I'm not that way, people get very confused. They think, because on the show...
It's called acting.
No, but on the show, whatever Larry says, and people make fun of me for this in my performance, I'll repeat it and then add to it. And then he says something, I repeat it and add to it. It's like raising,
building it up.
The scene. So that's what people are used to seeing me do. But when I'm extremely honest off screen, holy shit. I've gotten some very negative responses. I'm not trying to be mean. All right, go ahead.
So now we cut to Cheryl and Larry's house, and Cheryl's like, party was fun. Did you get to talk to Krazee-Eyez? I mean, he loves the ladies, and Larry's starting to get a little suspicious because it's awkward because he's, everybody knows he loves the ladies. And Larry's, what do you mean? And, it gets a little weird, and she's just talking about you being a flirt. And then Cheryl picks up on Larry's weirdness and says, is he fooling around on Wanda? And then Larry tells her, and then she's going to call Wanda right away. You can't do that. If you betray me, I'll die.
I put a nut in your eye.
In this episode, there are numerous times where you're watching and your natural inclination towards Larry is, let it go.
But
Let
he
it
can't.
go. He can't. He can't,
And Cheryl says, that's a song and this is real life. And then, and he says to her, you say one word, I'll be in Antarctica.
You're that scared of Krazee-Eyez that you flee the country?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I want to live. I want to have both legs. I want to have my penis, all right, and my testicles intact.
This is her life, okay? She's starting a whole new life
Yeah,
with this
I understand.
guy.
This is my life, and I'd like to live it by not going into handicap parking.
My penis, I want my penis and testicles intact. I like to live I'm not going into handicap parking, which we know he loves handicap parking. And that's that. Then we cut to lunch with Jeff, and there's a discussion about the reshoot for the Scorsese movie, which is in an earlier episode that we actually haven't done yet, but we're going out of order. And and you say to him, it wouldn't have killed you to take that.
Right. Which is just like, take it, say, oh, it's lovely, and get the fuck. And the key thing I said to him was,
did you have to go somewhere?
No. Look at that.
All
Looks
right,
good.
you know what?
Hey, look at that closet. Oh, hey,
When you
nice,
moved into
nice
your
beams
house-
up there. I like those beams.
when you moved into your house-
What's the name of that architect?
were you in a rush? Did you have somewhere to go?
No.
And he goes, no.
But he says, well, what am I going to say? Oh, this is a nice room. I like the beams.
The beams, yeah.
I like the beams.
Because his character thinks that if he does something like that, he has to be an asshole when he does it.
Right.
Like the beams, whatever. And no, all you got to do, even in life, it's just someone wants a house tour. You don't want a house tour. Sure, show me a house tour. And you go, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is nice. Oh, I like the wallpaper. Do you know what I mean?
Also,
and get the fuck
people
out.
take pride in their home. You know,
do.
people
Without
are
a
very
doubt.
proud of their
Without
home.
a doubt.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, I do. I'm a
By the way,
decorating
that's
obsessed
the house.
person.
It was also in the Palisades, as all our houses have been. That house, we weren't in very long.
I
don't. The only memory I have of the house is the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo scene with Bob Einstein.
Was that in that house?
Yeah, it was in that house, in the front living room.
I didn't remember
Yeah,
that.
That's where that was.
also one of the favorite scenes of all time, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so back at the house, and there's bubble wrap on the floor, back at Larry's house, and there's a whole thing. He's looking for the cream-colored jacket with the black stitching that he had worn in the Scorsese movie. And Cheryl's like, it had a hole in it. And he's like, yeah, where I got shot. And he needs it for a reshoot, and she has thrown it out, which is a lot of nerve of her, I think,
By the way,
throw that out.
Yes and no. I think you're too rock and cool to do this. You would ask Jimmy, but I think most women, especially on the Jewish side, because I've had it happen to me. No, we had to get rid of it. And by the way, my wife and my girlfriend both.
But if it was from a shoot, it might have sentimental value.
She doesn't know it's from the shoot. So,
okay, so he got it at Mitchell's on Melrose, and he's going to have to go see if they have it.
When did he have the fantasy about
later?
Later. Okay, good.
Okay. So he goes to Mitchell's on Melrose, and it's one of the Sklar brothers. I don't know which one of the twins. I think it's Jason.
It's Jason Sklar. I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
Sklar brothers are a comedy duo who are
Identical
lovely
twins.
gentlemen, identical twins, and they're funny.
And they come on later. A later episode that they're in Curb.
I don't remember.
I think so. Maybe I'm thinking of a different show I did. We'll look it up.
Okay. And you've done a lot of shows. You know, Susie, you're very successful.
Yes, exactly.
And you know who loves you? Young people. Keep going.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So they have one jacket left. And, whatever. And then he's so happy there's one jacket. And then he picks up a sweater that he likes. And it's the wrong size. And he goes to fold it. But the owner, Jason Sklar, we have a specific way of folding here. I have to fold it and becomes, Larry says, it's not that complicated.
Gigantic let it go moment.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're folding and then
You're stretching it out.
Yeah, just let the guy
fold it.
Go
Yeah.
buy your jacket and get the fuck out.
But again, this is Larry's whole thing. He's trying to help him. He thinks he's helping him.
Yeah, but he
thinks he's
gets
doing a
angry
good
and defiant.
deed.
He has righteous indignation.
And then Jason Sklar will not sell him the jacket.
Or anyone.
Or anyone
Don't
the jacket.
send your friends in.
That's right.
Because this jacket's not for sale.
And he needs it.
He needs it for the reshoot. Now, I don't like to be insulted in my own store.
By the way,
and blah, blah.
he was great.
He was fantastic.
Terrific. Yeah. I was trying to help you. Blah, blah. Okay. Then he goes home. And there's a note from Cheryl on the fridge or wherever. Went out for drinks with Wanda. This is where he has the
dream
fantasy.
sequence.
There's something I have to tell you. Krazee-Eyez is cheating on you.
What? How do you know?
Larry told me.
That cheating son of a bitch, I'm gonna go kick his ass.
Are you gonna tell him that Larry told you?
You goddamn right I am.
Okay, can I say something here? We have had dream sequences, if I'm not believing.
Yes, we
have. I think this might be the only, because it's very off tone for the show. The going to this land in the bar where she blatantly tells him, Wanda tells him, and she's definitely going to say that Larry, it's from Larry.
It's from Larry.
But
Larry told me.
I don't think this is like really off.
It's like an imagination moment.
No, but it's also, we don't do those.
Oh, right. That's true.
Well, we've had a couple of flashback things with Larry and Cheryl's
is
younger
different. That's not a
dream
flashback
sequence. Yeah.
than a fantasy. So
Larry has the fantasy that Cheryl's telling Wanda that Crazy Eyes is cheating on her, and it's Larry who told me, and then Larry immediately has to find Crazy Eyes, and he's on the calling information, Knox Road and Silver Lake.
The optometry line was brilliant.
What about an H at the end of killer? Did you try that? K-I-L-L-A-H? What about the Z? Eyes? E-Y-E-Z? Is that possible? No, that's an optometry place. Okay. All right, thank you.
He's like, no, that's an optometrist.
That's an optometrist, Crazy Eyes,
by the way,
yes.
that's the last line, and then it's over.
But he doesn't know how to spell Crazy-Eyez Killa. Is it with a K? Is it with a C?
It never occurs to him that he would have a real name privately, and then also, why the fuck would a guy like that list his phone number?
List his phone number.
And these are things I believe
And
that
of
Larry
course,
wouldn't think about.
Crazy Eyes does have a real name. That's not his name. That's a made-up name.
Yeah.
His mother didn't name
his
him
name could be
Crazy-Eyez
Barnaby
Killa.
Wilson. As a matter of fact, I like to think it is.
One time I was in, I was at Sirius Radio doing a bunch of interviews, and I was in the waiting room, the little green room there, and these two rappers come in. I don't know, they were famous. I don't know who they were. And they knew who I was, and they introduced themselves, and they were like, my name is Daryl, but my hip-hop name is blah, blah, like Crazy-Eyez Killa, blah, blah. And I said, what would my hip-hop name be? And without skipping a beat, he went, Short Fuse.
Oh, wow. That is hilarious. And that would be your hip-hop
That's my
name.
hip-hop name,
Oh,
Short
my
Fuse.
God, Short Fuse. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
without
great.
skipping a beat, right there, Short Fuse. Okay, so he's trying to get your phone number, everything he can't. That's a very funny sequence. Him trying to get, and then he drives to your house.
All right, now I want to say something about the house. That was a weird-ass house.
In Silver Lake, it was a nunnery.
It used to be a nunnery, and it just was creepy as shit. And I remember Video Village
What was creepy about it?
It just was, if you were there, the pool, everything about this house seemed like, especially if it was in the dark, is scary. I talked to Chris about it then. It was fucking.
It was weird.
It was fucking
because
weird.
they had. It was not renovated. It was being sold, but it was still kind of had the old
nunnery vibe.
Nunnery vibe,
Yeah,
like
it was,
an abbey.
It was
I'm not
very
even
weird.
kidding.
Let me just take this opportunity, because I don't think we've mentioned this before on the podcast, that we shoot everything on location. So all the houses that people see of ours are real houses that we use.
The only time
we
up
don't
until
use
that
a studio.
point, we did use a studio numerous times for courtroom scenes.
Courtroom scenes,
and then we ultimately used the studio later on for the young Larry stuff. That was obviously a studio.
And for the Seinfeld stuff. And
Seinfeld stuff studio.
But generally...
but those are practical then.
Yes.
They are practical.
Generally, everything we do is on location. So Jeff's house, my house, Larry's house, they're all real houses
do you know what
that
my,
people have.
My home base is where we shoot from, my chair. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like wherever my chair is, that's where
so this
where
house that was Crazy Eyes was a real house.
Yes. Oh, and scary as
scary
up in Silver Lake, up a long,
and by the way, they did a great
hill.
job with the set design.
Yeah.
So Crazy Eyes answers the door.
What the fuck you doing? Hey, where's my nigga? Where's my nigga?
There's my motherfucking nigga right there. Get your ass in here. All right, Larry fucking David. Goddamn. You came to see my motherfucking shit, didn't you?
And you know what was cut out? I had a 6'5" bodyguard.
Oh.
I had a guy whose name was Delicious.
Oh, okay.
And he answers the door. And Larry's standing there looking at this ginormous man, and he's like, I'm here for Crazy Eyes. And he looks at him and goes, hold on. And he closed the door. And then I come out again. Right. So that part was cut out.
That was
and
cut
that's
out.
why I fed into when
I remember
later.
giving you a specific note, which was you can't say delicious enough. You cannot, because I loved every Delicious moment. And the idea that a guy named Delicious is going to come in and pick up a wrapper, literally a wrapper from a candy or something, on the floor. Yo, Delicious.
But you see, I assumed, having not been there that day, that Delicious was a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I knew it was
I
a
have,
big guy.
but we didn't see Delicious.
But it was a giant man, because I met him.
Right.
You know, and so I found you yelling that you couldn't say it enough. As a matter of fact, 3/4 of them got cut out of delicious.
Of deliciousness.
Because I had him going berserk. I go, say it every nook and cranny that you can fit delicious. And because I knew if you do that, at least 2 or 3 will make it.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a problem. My big thing as Krazee-Eyez was being that is, am I hard enough? Am I coming across? Because I'm not a rapper. I did my research. I was watching UMTV Raps. I was watching all these things, and I asked you. I said to the side, because I don't want to ask Larry. I said, "How am I doing?" You're like, "Keep going, keep going."
Well, because
you were
what
doing,
you did,
whatever you chose was correct.
If you're going to buy it,
you played it tone-wise believable. Like you weren't going hardcore.
And you weren't over the top
except
either.
for your lyrics that one time, but you were believable as this dude.
Right.
And I find that it doesn't matter what profession, a lot of, I don't want to name names, but a lot of actors, a lot of rappers, they sort of see that their public persona melds into their personal persona. And you don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
Yeah, I see that all the time. But you,
I was so nervous that I wasn't hard enough.
No.
Coming
But
from
no,
you were
I think
professional, but
you
was
were.
like,
I think
that's
everything
why I
you did was
encourage you.
He's
perfect.
like, keep going, keep it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, if you're gonna buy it, I'm gonna
So
sell it.
Larry answers you can come to the door, and Larry says he's supposed to meet Cheryl and Wanda. Do you know where they went? And you say they went to Teabags, and then you say to him, "Hey, you want a tour of the house?" And after the incident with me, he has to say yes, and also he has to say yes to you because he's scared shit of you. He's scared shit of me too, but in a different way. I'm not going to kick his ass.
by the way, there's always the potential.
There's always the potential.
Yeah.
But and the tour is a dining room. There's a chair and shit, and there's some steps, and there's
I was trying to make it as mundane as possible.
That's right. There's a door here. There's a door
No,
there.
the best thing he said.
Got the floor, you know what I mean? It's made out of, some floor shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's floor shit.
Yeah.
Made of
Floor shit. Yeah.
Floor shit,
All
yeah.
right, that
It
one
was great.
killed me.
Yeah.
But every bit of that was improvised. There's not one
all
thing in the
improvised.
script.
Yeah.
And Larry actually took, right when we were in that dining room area on a break, he took me aside and he goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I really appreciate all the stuff you're doing." I was like, I was like, "Thank you." Somebody's like, "I could have written it."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "I'm sure you could have." He's like, "But I'm glad."
He couldn't have written your poem. No way.
No, he couldn't have written
His head
anything.
wouldn't have gone there.
Larry is so far from what a hip hop guy is.
Yeah.
He could, by the way, that's a lie. And I wish I was standing there because I would have looked at him and went, "You're full of shit. You could not," he would write funny shit between you, but there'd be no nuance. Keep going.
Okay, so then you get to the bedroom. You want a bigger bed so you can have 3 or 4 motherfuckers in there. And
another scene that was cut out is we go into this music room and I have, there's people in the room, Delicious, and some people I said, you got to have, 3 or 4, bitches. You got to spread the bitches out. You have a bitch room here, bitch room. He's like, "I like your theory of spreading the bitches out." He's like, "You got to have a bitch here, a bitch there, and open the door." "Oh, bitch." Like,
yeah. Well, by the way, that's really funny, and I remember that. But no matter how I've had scenes on the show that I am so proud of that I think are hilarious. One quiet one with Larry outside a graveyard. The special sections in this season, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That episode in particular, I had 2 scenes that I love, but neither one of them served the show.
Right.
Or
It's like a black pearl on a white necklace.
Yes.
It'd be great on its own, but if it doesn't work for the rest of it,
And it was also very sublime. I'll talk more about it when we record that episode.
and then Larry has a piece of paper to throw away. And you just toss the motherfucker. And then, "Yo, Delicious, tell Matilda to come in here and clean this shit up." And then you ask for an Alizé, which I love that touch. That's that's brilliant, that Alizé touch. That was not in the script at all. None of that was in the script.
And if you look at the episode when that was one of my true improv moments, and he goes, "What do I do with this box?" And I'm like, computing in my head, what would a rapper create? I would want to show how rich I am,
That's
that I
right.
have someone
That's right.
to clean, just throw it. And he's like, "I just throw the motherfucker." And he throws, and I'm like, "Watch this."
Nah, you just throw that shit anyway. I got something to clean up after this. Okay, throw it. Toss it.
Okay.
Toss the motherfucker. See? There you go. Watch this shit. "Yo, Delicious! Delicious! Tell Matilda to come in here and clean this shit up. And bring me an Alizé. You want something, brother?"
To just to give,
Your
to feed
power
into
your
to feed into the
success.
rap, like,
Yeah.
"I am so successful, I have someone to clean this up," and that's when I yell.
could just
for it.
throw
By the way,
that
if I
shit
were to
on the floor.
rename this episode, it would be Yo Delicious.
Oh, Delicious.
Yo Delicious.
And then Larry spots that exact jacket that he needs in your closet. He tries it on, and then you say you want to put a plasma screen on the ceiling and have Scarface 24/7.
Which is hilarious.
Great stuff.
Scarface 24/7.
Because on MTV Raps, when they, I think Wu-Tang had a tour, they all had like TVs on the ceiling and a hot tub in the middle. And there's an art piece also in the thing that we got cut out too, that I wanted, because Master P at that time was worth $50 million of just as a businessman. And people think that all these rappers are just dumb. Look, Jay-Z's a billionaire, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure, like, we're looking at the artwork, and I was like, yeah, I'm a French Impressionist
dumb. They think
motherfucker.
they're gangsters.
Right. But I was like, I'm a French Impressionist motherfucker, and I want a Pontormo or, you know, Matisse Manet. And Larry was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I would never think that. But
he doesn't,
because Ghostface Killa in his tour had like French provincial furniture and flowers, and I was like, that is the oddest thing.
Yeah.
And Silk the Shocker had a giant, you know, velvet painting of himself like this. You know, and I was like, this is some so I wanted to incorporate some of that reality that had those rappers had that.
You were a full-blown character
by the way,
there, Chris.
Hip-hop guys, R&B singers, like Rihanna has made more in clothes and perfumes than she has in
makeup.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying more than her music career, and nobody could have been bigger than Rihanna.
$1.4 billion she's worth.
Yeah,
she's a billionaire. Which is incredible.
And then you give Larry the jacket, and that's when he says, "Are you my Caucasian?"
Yes,
which was and
if you look at my face when he says that, I was like, "Oh, that's really good." And as you said, the yes and I'm like, yes, that was a brilliant moment.
That was a brilliant moment. That was a completely improvised moment. That was just, it was fantastic, fantastic.
Are you my Caucasian?
I'm your man.
Are you my Caucasian?
I'm your fucking Caucasian.
All right.
All right.
You know what?
What's
Honest to God, I love the crib.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get my ass. My wife's gonna kick my ass. I gotta get out of here.
And there's T-shirts out that say, "Are you my Caucasian?" made by HBO. And then Larry says, "Oh, you do?" There you go.
Oh, wow. Did you have those made or did you buy them?
People, I mean, there's been T-shirts. No, a friend of mine found them and gave them to me. But T-shirts and of Krazee-Eyez, and I've been recognized all over the world.
Oh, really? Yeah.
People have come up to me and go,
that's one of our most
popular episode.
But easy, we've done 110 episodes.
Wow.
And that's easy top 5. Could be number 1.
Yeah.
But I think Palestinian chicken is the one that people most talk about. To me, but that's easy top 5.
That's top 5. And then Larry says, "I love the crib," which coming out of his mouth, him using the word crib just cracked me up. But I got to go with my wife's going to kick my ass. Like suddenly he's talking your language. So then Larry enters a very noisy restaurant, and way back he sees a table with Wanda, Cheryl, and Barbara is also there, the widow Barbara. And they're like, "What are you doing here? How'd you know I was here?" And Cheryl is clearly lit. She's a little drunk.
By the way, she plays that great.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
I believed every second. And I was like, wow, because that's a tone of, I had to audition once for a part in a Alec Baldwin Demi Moore movie. And Bob Odenkirk directed me in his backyard to be drunk. And I couldn't do it. And he did it for me. He got me there, and we turned it in, and I was second runner-up between me and another guy. The other guy was way better, but I still got that far because of Odenkirk. But playing drunk, my point is, it's hard.
Yeah. It is, and not to seem like stereotypical drunk. No, Cheryl did that great.
No, that's what most people do.
So Larry tells him he went to Krazee-Eyez. That's how he knew he was there. And Wanda, immediately we find out Wanda knows he's cheating on her because you went to that son of a bitch's house. He's cheating on me, and she wants to go tell him. And Larry's like, "Who are you going to tell him? Told you heard it from?" And there's a back and forth there.
But by the way, leave well enough alone. Cheryl signaled him that she didn't do it, that she actually did hear from the
leave
ether.
well enough alone. There's no show.
No, but by the way, yes, of course. Remember I said how the costume designer said, to Larry and I, why can't everybody get along? And Larry started upset about teaching her conflict, and she didn't quite get it, how important that is. And that's a scene where, by the way, that's the number 1 leave well enough alone scene in the show. That's where he really buries himself.
Well, he's like, he could think it's the wrong person told you, the wrong person, on and on and on. And then
but he
Cheryl,
won't let it go.
He won't let it go.
He's just digging deeper
and then Cheryl's like, maybe we should dance. And Wanda goes to call Krazee-Eyez. And Larry's like, tell him who told you. You know, he says obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Larry's like, what am I, a deterrent?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm out.
No, wait. Larry, walk one out to a car.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
What am I, a deterrent? What are you?
It's a bad neighborhood. It's better
So
than
what am
that.
I going to do?
But by the way, I love what the widow says, because everyone's saying how they wouldn't fuck around. You know, she says, "My husband is dead, and I wouldn't fuck around."
Yeah, right.
Which I love that one. You know.
Then they're home, and Cheryl's like, "Why wouldn't you dance with me?" She's still drunk, and Larry
that drunk when she plays drunk in that scene too.
Even better. Even better.
Really
Well, because it's quieter.
Yes.
You know, the other was a noisy
by the
restaurant.
Way, Cheryl's drunkenness reminds me of many people that I've seen drunk.
Yeah, no, she was. She got it.
Yeah, she totally
I'm
nailed
sure
it.
she's been drunk once in her life. And
By the
Larry
way,
didn't
she
want to
told me
upset the widow
once.
once.
And that's
Larry
where
didn't
she
want to
got
upset
it
the
from.
widow. And Larry, did you look at if you ever see the look on widows' faces when couples are dancing? You know, it's like he's so sensitive.
And by the way, she says she wouldn't have minded one dance.
And then Larry makes her promise that she didn't tell Wanda that it was him who told her. And then Cheryl says, "What did you tell Krazee-Eyez about oral sex?" So clearly Krazee-Eyez told Wanda, and Wanda told, and what did Wanda tell you? It hurts my neck sometimes. And then Cheryl feels that's an inappropriate thing to talk to somebody you hardly know at a party. And then there's a knock on the door. And who is it?
It's Krazee-Eyez.
It's Krazee-Eyez Killa.
Wait a here.
I just call myself Killa too. I just said it's Killa.
Yeah, it's Killa.
Yeah.
And Larry starts running away. Oh, we didn't say that there was some bubble wrap on the floor earlier, or maybe we did.
It was upstairs.
No, because she yelled at him upstairs.
Yeah,
Can you
about the
stop with the
bubble wrap.
bubble wrap?
Yeah.
And
in their house. And so Larry's running away, but he's stepping on the bubble wrap, which is making noise. And then Killa's like, "Get your ass down here, motherfucker. What the fuck?"
Crazy
Eyes,
motherfucker.
No,
I didn't say it.
didn't you?
No, I swear to God.
We were cool de la, man.
Cool de la?
We ain't cool de la?
No, we are cool de la.
Get my jacket. Get my motherfucking jacket.
I thought we were Kundela.
Kundela. It's Cundela with an apostrophe over the A.
It's Kundela.
Kundela.
Now, what does that mean?
Me and my boys were in Martha's Vineyard one summer, and we said, let's make up a word to see if people will start saying it. So that's an homage to my boys. And no one said it.
Have you ever...
Virginia Beach, or I think it was at the Vineyard. And it was just like, are you Kundela? We're Kundela. And no one has any idea what it means or anything, but everyone thinks it's cool de la.
That's why I'm glad I asked, because I'm like, what the fuck does that word mean?
Have you ever heard of people using it?
Oh, yeah. There's a podcast called Kundela.
Oh,
yeah, they call it cool. They think it's cool de la. But I always
so it means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing.
I thought we were Kundela, meaning I thought we were copacetic and good with each other.
Amongst Pirates of the Caribbean fans, they use Kundala. Yeah, they describe themselves as. I'm making it up, Chris.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, Chris, you're looking at me like, really? No, Pirates of the Caribbean fans use Kundala.
Oh, and then I like when you turn to Cheryl and you say, "You're fine."
Yeah. And by the way, I love that she has no reaction.
Now, well, what could she say?
Well, in that scene also, I said I needed to come in as hard as I could possible.
Yeah, because you were threatening.
And when she was, she's chirping in my drunk, going like, "You didn't love her," and I turned her and I go, "Shut the fuck up, bitch," which is what Krazee-Eyez would do.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, just maybe tone that down. Like, we don't need to go there.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll pull it back. I was like, okay.
There you would do for a gangster film.
Right.
Not in Curb.
Not a comedy.
We're not afraid to use words.
Right.
But that was
clearly,
harsh.
we've already in this episode used everything.
Well, so many in this episode.
Okay, so then you want the jacket back. You want the jacket back. He throws the jacket. You leave with the jacket. And then Larry says, "Oh, my neck is feeling pretty good," because he wrenched it when he threw the jacket. So we get a look from Cheryl and we know what's going to happen next.
Right.
And the callback at the end of that thing, the callback of "You're not my nigga anymore," and he's like, "I want to be your nigga." It's like I want to be that to you. I'm like, "No, you're not anymore." Like that's the final straw.
Final straw.
Yeah, we're not friends anymore. It's like, but I want to be friends with you, and I love that moment between.
His character really does want to be friends with you.
Exactly.
He does. He actually at this point values being friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we cut to post-coital look, and Larry, Larry is gagging, And because he's got a pubic hair stuck in his throat, which remains stuck in his throat for several episodes, if I recall.
Yes.
And next we're on the stage with Scorsese where they're doing the reshoot. And
Scorsese, by the way, fantastic.
Wonderful.
He is so funny playing himself.
And Larry's telling them he doesn't have the jacket, et cetera, et cetera. But the wardrobe person has a backup jacket. So he went through all of this for nothing because there was a backup jacket,
And
but he didn't know it.
The wardrobe person was Wendy Morgan, Aaron O'Malley's wife.
Oh, was that? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So next episode is Bob Whitey's wife, which he directed that episode. Right. And then, that's Aaron O'Malley, who was an executive producer on the show. And
director also.
And one of my best friends. I was at their wedding.
Wow.
Who doesn't love young people falling in love and getting married?
Then we cut to Scorsese saying, he's going to kill me, this guy. Because clearly Larry's a huge pain in the ass.
Right.
And then we cut to something that I love, which is Larry in a wig.
You should have seen that cocksucker's face when I took out that knife. He said to me, he said, "You don't got no call." Imagine that. You don't got no call? I said, I had called yesterday. I got called today. And I'll have called tomorrow.
Joking.
Cut it! Cut!
I always love Larry in a wig and a
killed me.
mustache.
And in a future episode, there's that rooftop scene within the mustache and the wig, the Scorsese thing.
Yes, in the prior episode.
Larry doing a character with a mustache and a wig, which would never happen except for a sketch show.
Right.
Or our show. And he plays it straight, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's actually been several times he's been in a wig.
Well, yeah, the fatwa.
Fatwa was a whole...
Fatwa.
There were several flashback scenes to a young Larry and Cheryl where he was in a wig and she had big hair. Those are in later episodes. So Larry's in a wig and he's playing a gangster and you don't got no call. And then he starts gagging because the pubic hair is still stuck in his throat.
And by the way, the look on Scorsese's face, because everything is going swimmingly. It's all good. And you can see Scorsese at that point saying, cut, print it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. Scorsese, you can see him nodding and smiling. And then the pubic hair, oh, dear God.
Ruins everything.
Beautiful
and you just know that it's going to be for every take.
Yeah.
For every take. And that's the episode.
Yes,
And we
indeed.
thank Chris Williams for being here
thank
with
you
us.
So
so
happy
much
to
for
see you
having
again.
me.
I haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic.
Very happy to see you.
That was truly a performance of a lifetime, I think.
I appreciate that.
No,
it's gotten me a lot of recognition and work.
Yeah.
It's gotten me work.
That's
I got
great.
dodgeball because of it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great.
You were hilarious. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
All right, enjoy your good looks for the rest of the day.
I will try.
All right.
I appreciate that, motherfucker.
Bye, everybody.